You are a unique individual with a very specific, like, energetic blueprint, right? And that likely means you are against the grain. You know what I mean? When the crowd's going one way, you're going another. Or you've had moments in your life where it's like, I just want to do something different. I just want to do something different. And I applaud you for that. And I encourage you to continue to do that. But I know, and if you haven't been through this, then it's more than likely that you will. So listen up for some encouragement, right? Listen to the end. I'm not even sure what jewel's going to come out. But whenever you start something that is especially different and new, and I feel like I might be talking to those who are, it could be anything, but especially the entrepreneurs, or really just anybody who is, stepping out on faith, taking a leap and doing something like that your soul called you to do that you haven't seen a lot of people do. As you get started, there is going to be resistance. And I know we don't want to hear that because we think that, like, well, if it's my soul's calling, then it should be easy, right? I remember thinking that a lot. And that was one of my biggest internal pieces of resistance, thinking that if I was called to it and it's not working, then it must mean I wasn't really called to it. Or I was just doing something all the way wrong, incomplete, failing. And there's a part of that, there's some growth required in some of these things that we start. We think we're ready, but we're not ready. But to think that we are not supposed to be doing something just because there's some pushback, there's some challenge, is not correct. And I don't want us to give up on our goals and dreams and visions that are seeds within us. I don't want us to give up too soon because we are facing some resistance, and we don't quite know how long the resistance will last, which is another crazy part that's going to keep you a little bit discouraged, because it's like, well, I've been dealing with this for the past 3 months, some of you a year, some of you 2 years, and you've been developing that whole time, but it can get really tiring. And it's like, why is the resistance so long, so heavy? Why is it so heavy? And the reason I wanted to use the term heavy is because I know we can think about, we understand it in the practical sense. So let's say you're at the gym and you understand that if you haven't worked out your muscles really ever before, that you're going to it's going to be a little bit difficult to get started, right? You understand that the number on the treadmill, however many miles you can do, is going to be quite low. The incline is not going to be that high. The amount, the weight of the weights are going to be fairly low compared to somebody who's been doing it for a while, but they only got there because they pushed through resistance. But even that your muscles don't grow they can, but they grow faster, stronger, better when you add resistance. Resistance bands. Oh, we love to add resistance for that, but for some reason, when we are cultivating our gift and what we're supposed to be, or whatever you feel like you're guided to do, it just seems like resistance is the worst thing in the world. And it doesn't feel good, I understand, because it just feels like we're failing a lot and there's more failures than successes. But here's the encouragement. You will have a breakthrough moment. And suddenly it's not so heavy. And while you might not be where you want to be, there's a little spark of light that shows you, like, hey, what you're doing is working. And I know it's been a lot of trial and error, that resistance, and there's, whether that's in your own brain, your internal resistance, or external. I don't know where I was going with that. I just got a message. I don't know what I was saying, but I needed a part for the car. If you've been following me, I'm pretty sure you already heard that story. Go check out some videos. It's the one where it was saying, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. I know it seems like I get distracted, but I trust the signs when they come onto my watch. And so the part has come, and actually the part has come earlier than expected. Come on now. Now, mind you, I was dealing with a lot of resistance to get my car fixed, whatever. And so that's been a good, month at this point. And it got ordered on last Friday, and the estimated time of arrival was like Thursday coming up, so like 6 days. And today is only Tuesday, and the part's already here. Now, granted, I plan to go get it installed on Friday, so like that doesn't change anything. But the fact that it's actually here early, the fact that I didn't have to pay as much as I thought I was gonna have to pay. Now, I still am like, dang, I didn't want to pay it all. But, and I'm just getting back-to-back messages because it's from my dad. But he said, your parts have arrived. See you Friday morning. Then he just sent me the address to go get that done. So everything's set. And I guess where I'm going with that is, if you focus on how long it should take or how long it says it's supposed to take, then that would be your own internal resistance right there. Does that make sense? First of all, you judging how long it's taking, but then you automatically as well accepting what how long other people say it's going to take, is adding to the resistance of you just being in the flow and taking things one day at a time and understanding that you are where you are. And I notice it's not in the moment. Hearing these words are very, like, I'm not gonna say different. It's not going to hit the same until you like been through it and made it through it, but it is what it is. Just take my word for it. And even if I'm not where I want to be, I just keep getting this message of like, you're going to have to push through the resistance. And especially when there's other people involved. And I do want to talk about that because I think I went from internal, now we're going to go with external resistance, where there's somebody always like pushing against you, questioning you. At that point, here's what I'm going to say about that. You have to use your discernment, of course. But there's going to be a lot of times where you're going to have to like dismiss their opinions and really do your thing anyway. Like I say, you're unique. You don't follow anybody's blueprint, so likely the people around you are going to be really pressing you and questioning you and making you feel like that's not what you should be doing, or like, who are you? That's resistance too, or people not actually supporting you. It's just like, okay, where'd the person go? Did y'all see them go? They got out real fast. And I'm gonna say this thing too, because a car just pulled up and I have my windows down, and I have a little bit of resistance to like other people witnessing me doing what I do. And I and that might be you too, so that's why it's coming up, where like being perceived or feeling like people are judging you, but they're really not. Like they couldn't care less about what you're doing. And and that's a good thing sometimes. And I understand we just said, like, when people don't care about what you're doing, it can be resistance, because it's like, dang, nobody cares, I don't got no support. But I'm just going with the flow right now. And I felt like when I saw the car pull up, I don't know if it showed in my face, but it's like tense up a little bit. I want to get a little bit quieter. I want to just be quiet so nobody hears what I'm saying, even though they don't care. They pulled up and hopped out the car, didn't even pay me no attention. And so that's something else I got to work on. So you're going to uncover all these points of like where you stop yourself, where you quiet your voice, where you hide a little bit. And that's a part of the growth. So I don't want to sit here and say that you won't have any resistance, because that's the opposite of what I'm saying. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's just as easy as getting over it and just saying, oh yeah, just limit our resistance. Like, it is a process. And even though you are highly guided and intuitive, well, not even though, I would say, and because you are highly guided and intuitive and you're on your spiritual journey, you're going to be able to pick up on those feelings of like, my chest is getting tight, I'm sweating a little bit. You're going to be able to pick up on that a little bit quicker than the average person. But you have to keep going. And I don't want you to give up, because I've given up so many times on one particular thing. And I was just saying, you know what, screw it. But then the next time it's like, okay, well, a little piece of resistance leaves, because, at some point you stop caring about everything. You just say, you know what, I'm going to do this regardless. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how much longer it takes. I don't care if it's perfect. You would drop all of that. you know. And so, yeah, I'm glad I got this off my chest because it's been on my mind for a while, and I've just been seeing it in different ways, externally and internally, just feeling the resistance within me, and then just seeing how sometimes things just seem to be going against you, but that's strengthening you. Come on, my brain is on point today. Even like energy levels where it seems like, dang, I'm just so tired. And like, how do I push through that? Then you have to know, like, what are your key strengths to get over things? You already have the tools within you to push through resistance. Sometimes we just forgot. I feel like that was part of I feel like I had that thought earlier, but now I was connecting to this. Sometimes you forgot how to get through the resistance. Like, you've already learned, okay, part 2, you've already learned some ways to push through whatever resistance you're feeling. Maybe you just forgotten because you learned it in a different time space era. I'm gonna leave that right there because I know that's very specific, and like, it's gonna take me a while to come up with an example. But I do want to. I don't necessarily want to say I want you to embrace the resistance, because right now I'm looking in my mirror. I wonder if y'all can see her. I don't know. It don't matter. I'm at the park and this girl is stretching, right? And she has on a weighted vest. That's adding resistance to her walk or her run. She's doing it on purpose. Let me look in your eye. She's doing it on purpose. I think the main thing here is if we can try to look at resistance as a catalyst for growth. If we can take the time to acknowledge where our resistance is and ask the questions out loud, like, why do I feel this way? Why does this keep happening? Can I push through it? Do I have any skills to get me through this today? If not, you'll get the answer. And I feel like more advice is coming up, because I also want to say, you don't want to, I know I'm saying backwards things. I would say push through, yes, but even like with your muscles, there's only so much your muscles can take. There's only so much resistance you can take at a time. And sometimes a way to get through resistance is to put it down for a second. And that's up to you of how long, because you'll come back and being like, okay, suddenly I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. After I gave my body a break for a week, and I'm still referring it back to, the fitness, because that's something we can all understand. Then I came back and suddenly I could do incline up here like this. Suddenly I can break through the how heavy the weights were, and now I'm doubling it. And that wouldn't have been able to happen in the moment. So I guess there's timing here too. Everything works together, and eventually it will be easy. Just because it's not easy in the very beginning doesn't mean it's not for you, and doesn't mean it won't eventually become easy. You are gaining the skills, you're gaining the strength in these moments for something to become so unbreakable and unshakable that you'll be able to say, like, there's no way this is going to fail. There's no way that anybody can shake this, because the amount of things I've been through, the amount of things I learned about myself, the amount of resistance I had to endure to get myself here, the amount of growth, the amount of lessons, the amount of negativity, the amount of backstabbing roaches, whatever, that I've had to deal with, the amount of my own fears, the amount of my own anxieties that I had to push through to get myself here. I know without a shadow of a doubt that once it's set in stone and you're on up and up, then there's no going back. Once you got those muscles, baby, it's going to be hard for you to lose them. It takes way more time to gain muscle than to lose it. Now, you can't lose it now, so we don't want to do that, but I'm going to leave it right there. Let me know if this resonates at all, and if you made it to the end, if you made it to the end of this, put a strong arm emoji that in the comment section, and we'll see who the real ones are. And let me know if this resonates with you at all. I will leave it right there. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like the video. Bye.